Coucou à tous et à toutes, s'il y en a, de retour sur le jeu. Donc on fait régime game, j'espère que ça va marcher parce que j'ai galéré.
Maybe someone knows Mr. Diaz Palencia.
Donc c'est bon, on était au niveau de la passe de la Palencia de Toledo, qui est une super ville au niveau de l'Europe. Donc j'avais déjà tourné la caméra, j'avais tourné la caméra récemment. Donc là, il faut qu'on trouve la maison du professeur. Donc on va tout droit.
If my Dorothy's memory was not failing her, the painter must live here, in this quarter.
Donc le peintre, Dorothy, qui nous avait signalé que pour rencontrer le peintre. Donc là on prend, je tourne ma caméra vers la gauche. Je vais discuter avec le marchand de poterie. Je lui demande où c'est qu'elle est la maison du peintre.
Would you please tell me where Salvador Diaz Palencia, the painter, lives?
I don't know exactly. Somewhere there at the Plaza San Pedro, through the gate.
Donc pour aller sur la place de San Pedro et aller sur donc c'est vers le portail. Donc je retourne la caméra. En plus on peut regarder en hauteur aussi, voilà. Hein. On peut s'habituer à la caméra, je vais tout droit. Et là bien sûr on était sur la plaza de la Mancha. Donc je vais sur la Palencia, sur la place.
Good afternoon. You must be Professor Hunt from England. I've been expecting you. Please come in.
Donc je vais parler à la personne.
Miss, I am looking for a certain Mr. Salvador Diaz Palencia.
This is his house. My name is Carmen. Carmen Diaz Palencia. Unfortunately, my father is no longer alive. I know. Your kind wife sent a letter, and I consider it my duty to help my father's old friends.
I will be indebted to you. I'm very sorry. I didn't know.
Of course. How could you have known? My father died of tuberculosis approximately.
Donc le père est mort d'une tuberculose.
He did not inform any of
Son
his
père.
English friends. But believe me, Professor, I am happy to see you at last. I've arranged my father's room for you. If you please, I believe you will find it comfortable. It has a separate entrance, so I will not disturb you in your contemplation. I know a man needs that often.
Oh, thank you very much, Miss Diaz Palencia. That is very kind of you. Though I think I will only stay for a few days, and I really hope that the research will not be so complicated that I would need so many hours alone to think.
As you wish, Professor. Here is the key to the gate and your residence. Please do rest after the long journey.
Donc c'est la fille. Donc c'est sa fille et donc le professeur est mort d'une tuberculose. Donc elle est prête à m'aider. Elle m'a offert une clé de la chambre de son père. Donc je lui ai demandé qu'est-ce que c'était sur la vie par rapport à sa vie. Par la vie de son père.
Please tell me about your father. I myself have only heard about him.
Yes, your kind wife. Well, my father was born here in Toledo. He studied to be a painter, and he was an excellent trumpeter. It was his great wish to see London, the very heart of European culture. So he traveled after finishing his studies and soon settled down in England. He worked as a teacher for children of wealthy families. He generally taught the boys how to play trumpet, and the girls and ladies how to paint. And those less talented, be acquainted with the history of art. Your wife must know him from these times. My father was a very handsome man. Women were crazy about him. I am convinced many families only employed him because the women in the family insisted. They preferred to endure the drawing classes solely for the purpose of being alone with the handsome teacher a little.
Well, Dorothy didn't mention such details.
My father was not an angel either. He adored female beauty, both as an artist and as a man. Thus it is no surprise that he got into some trouble. One day, a countess from the country fell madly in love with him, and my father's love was kindled too. And the unexpected fruit of that love stands here before you.
Oh, so there is English blue blood running in your veins, miss.
I am not so proud of this. After news of the pregnancy got out, there was a big scandal. The Count was terribly enraged, and of course this reached the other lords. Soon my father ceased to be the favorite of families. Instead, he was dismissed, even though so many girls cried for him. My mother gave birth, but her husband, the Count, would not hear of her bringing me up in the castle, despite the fact that they together could never have a child. I was torn from her, and my father received a message from the village woman saying that she would have to take care of his daughter.
These must have been terrible times.
Yes, really. My mother sometimes met my father in secret in the village. Maybe she saw me as well, but she knew it was impossible to divorce, since the poor painter could hardly support himself. And her life turned into a living hell with the Count. Not long after, she committed suicide. She jumped out of an upstairs window. My father was already rearing me on his own at that time, and one day he received a letter from Toledo. The disasters hadn't ended. His aging mother died suddenly, and the family house stood empty. The road was paved for him. He returned to his hometown with a child born out of wedlock, a strange souvenir from his long trip to England.
When did all that happen?
We were in Spain by the time I celebrated my second birthday. In one
Donc elle va sur ses 21 ans.
I will be 21 years old.
Donc elle va sur ses 21 ans, donc son père avec sa femme, vu qu'ils étaient en Angleterre, elle a du sang anglais dans les veines, qui n'est pas évident. Alors, qu'est-ce que... Donc c'est les lettres, pour l'instant je vais pas venir dessus. Au niveau du menu, je résume. Je vais retourner où là? J'ai la clé de la chambre. Au niveau du son, c'est peut-être juste, je vais voir si je peux augmenter un tout petit peu le son. Donc en Angleterre, c'était donc la naissance de sa naissance c'était compliqué parce que c'était mal apprécié. Malgré tout, elle a des bons souvenirs de son père, à ce que j'ai compris. Alors on va cliquer sur demander comment il est mort.
Miss Carmen, how did you lose your father?
My father grew very silent and reserved in the last years. He went to paint on his own a lot, and in the latest months to take photos of the area. He was looking for the points that had once inspired his favorite painter El Greco, who was also born in Toledo. He continued to give drawing lessons, but he was compelled to give up his trumpet students because of the tuberculosis that slowly overcame him. We made a living from my embroidery. I have many clients nowadays, too.
You weren't very rich then either.
You need not be polite, Professor. We were poor as hell. My father was more and more burdened by guilt in the last years. He kept mentioning that he had failed to give me a future that would measure up to my birthright, talents, and his intentions, and he therefore had not kept the promise he made to my mother. He wanted to find me a suitable husband before his death, but that fell through too. The illness was stronger than he was.
Tell me, did your father have a will? Did he bequeath anything to you?
There was a short will in which he left everything to me, of course. Strangely, he also included that the music box he had been making for months was also to be my possession, no one else's. I came to the conclusion that poor Dad lost his mind in those final days.
There's nothing interesting in that box?
Of course not. A pretty little box which plays music when you open the lid. Sweet, but for a long time I thought he was making it for someone else. Maybe some client.
Donc au niveau de l'héritage, il y a tout laissé, sauf la boîte à musique qu'il n'y a pas laissé. Donc on va demander un truc.
Tell me about yourself.
About myself? Well, it won't be easy without crying.
Carmen, is there such tragedy? Is it the poverty? Or you still miss your father so much?
No, I would not complain about being poor. What's more, there is an old gentleman nowadays who pays me quite well for reading to him. The newspapers in the morning and one of his books in the evening. And I have my embroidery. And I have come to think of my father with mixed feelings.
Do you feel bitter towards him for some reason?
You could say that. That is, really, I don't know what to think. Some things happened lately. But, Professor, can I trust you at all?
Miss Palencia, you considered it your duty to look after me as though I were someone you long knew and did not know. So allow me, in the place of your father, and in exchange, to protect and help you as a father would, while I enjoy your hospitality. Please continue. Maybe telling me a few things could be useful.
Thank you, Professor Hound. So a few weeks ago, I heard someone knock on the door. It was the most influential man in the area, old Alonso Garcia de la Rica and his son Eugenio, and they were waving a document carrying my father's signature. The paper said that if my father is unable to find a husband for me, whose estate matches the worth of our house before I turn 21, then all our possessions are to be transferred to the Garcia de la Rica family, and I must marry the ugly and feeble Eugenio.
Oh, that is astounding. And did you get a good look at your father's writing and signature? It wasn't forged?
It was his original handwriting, without a doubt. Mr. Alonso mentioned some bet, resolution or promise, but I was in such shock and understood little of what he said to me. The gentlemen left rather quickly, and of course they took the document with them.
And your father never talked to you about this?
No, never. Whatever his reasons were, he should have told me. He was a coward, may he rest in peace.
Miss Palencia, you are a pretty young girl. I'm sure you have suitors, and not just one, but many. Can't one of them save you from this forced marriage?
Look, Professor, maybe I would have suitors, but I am willing to marry only one man. The blacksmith's assistant, who lives nearby, has been a good friend of mine since I was a child. We have loved each other since we were born. My father wasn't against our marriage, because he was friends with his father, and his mother was my nanny in my early childhood.
That is what I am talking about. Couldn't you marry this young man?
No, I cannot. On the one hand, he's dirt poor, let alone having an estate equal to the house. And on the other hand, all our hope has gone up in smoke as he has been jailed. He has been charged with the theft of valuables.
Well, then he may not be the best choice.
No, Professor. I am convinced that Francisco is innocent. It's just that we are so unlucky, both of us.
Oh, you shouldn't cry. Maybe the situation is not so bad.
There is no hope left. Please, Professor. You seem to be such a kind person. Help me. I don't know how and by what means you could help, but I would be grateful if you could save me from this hopeless situation. Otherwise, it is not worth living anymore.
Come, don't say such things, my dear. You must not give up. I'll see what I can do.
Donc, son chéri, il est enfermé, voilà, il est en prison parce que... Donc le père, son père a été obligé de donner l'épée à la famille on va dire, donc la famille Candela, c'est la famille donc du riche de la ville. Et donc Francisco, son jeune époux, il est en prison, c'est lui qui est accusé. Alors, qu'est-ce que ça donne sur la famille Candela?
Well, to tell you a little about my research, I'm looking for a family, that is, a living descendant. According to the old scripture, the name is Candelas.
Candelas? That is Francisco's family name. His full name is Francisco Candelas. Theirs is an old family of swordsmiths, and they have been citizens of Toledo for centuries.
How lucky! I say, you see, this research really won't take long in this city. And who is the youngest man in the family?
Francisco. He has no brother. His sister died in infancy a long time ago. But you have little chance of meeting him, Professor. As I said, he is in the city prison and not for very long. In a few days, he will be taken to Madrid for questioning, and he may be lost to us.
Well, the situation is really worrisome.
Donc s'il n'est pas libéré avant ses 21 ans, donc elle sera obligée d'épouser le fils du riche de la ville. Donc faut essayer de libérer son on va dire son amoureux, on va dire ça comme ça pour l'instant. Le libérer de prison avant qu'elle ait ses 21 ans. À cause du papier qui a été signé, vu que l'épée a été volée et que son Francisco, c'est lui qui est accusé. Alors on continue sur la famille Candela.
Could you please tell me where I can find the Candelas family residence?
It's just 2 corners from here, at 9 Calle de Aranjuez. There you will only find poor Isabel at home.
Donc elle m'a donné l'adresse de la famille de la mère, voilà. Alors le crime, c'est quoi? Le crime, c'est les crimes de l'épée.
Miss Diaz-Palenque, please tell me anything you know about the theft that has resulted in Francisco's imprisonment.
I have a feeling this is yet another of the trials I must endure. There is no such thing as chance. So about 10 days ago, there was a big commotion in the neighborhood. A valuable ornamental sword had been stolen from the Garcia de la Rica palace. You know, they are the ones who had come here with my father's letter. Originally, the sword had been crafted by Francisco's grandfather. Francisco has been working in the palace recently, so they suspected him. He has been accused of attempting to steal back the family heirloom which his father gave as a present to the wealthy Mr. Alonso. But the scoundrel knows about our love, and so he accused him of taking the sword, since with it he could get at least half of the value of our house. Thus there would be a chance to get married before the deadline, my birthday.
And how has your beloved responded? Does he deny the charges?
Of course. I admit, Alonso's suggestion also crossed my mind. But Francisco looked me directly in the eye and said he was innocent of the theft. And I believe him.
I see.
Donc elle dit qu'il est innocent, il est en prison, il est innocent, mais comme l'épée a disparu, il a été désigné pour l'instant coupable. Donc il est en prison. Et s'il n'est pas libéré avant qu'elle ait ses 21 ans, donc elle serait obligée d'épouser le fils du riche par contrainte. Donc en fait il faut que j'essaye de libérer son jeune amoureux Francisco avant qu'elle ait ses 21 ans. Donc maintenant la music box.
Excuse me, miss. Please don't think me nosy, but could I myself examine that music box?
That one? Of course. Quite freely. Please feel free to look around among my father's old belongings if you are bored. The key to the box is in the desk drawer. If you open the lid, the small machine plays my father's favorite tune. There was a time when I often listened to the old song, but nowadays my heart sinks when I hear it. I think anger has also mixed with the grief.
Don't be hasty, my dear Miss Diaz Palencia. Your father must have been forced by some circumstance to act as he did. But maybe I will find out more if I listen to that melody myself. Thank you.
Donc je la remercie, elle m'autorise à regarder les music box. Donc il faut que j'essaye de libérer son chéri avant qu'elle ait ses 21 ans. Donc là j'ai tourné la caméra. On est sur le jardin. Donc, je vais me diriger par la pièce qu'elle m'a laissé, la chambre de son père. Voilà. Donc là, je vais sauvegarder là pour voir si ça fonctionne. Donc on a eu toute la partie de sa fille. Le récit de sa fille suite à la disparition de son père. Que je trouve une disparition très très louche. Voilà. Donc on va dans le menu. Voir si ça marche. Je vais faire Save Game. Alors est-ce que ça a fonctionné? On est sur le house Peinture. Alors, ça a fonctionné. Voilà, ça a fonctionné. Donc ça va fonctionner, merci à tous. Je coupe ici. On verra pour la suite. Donc c'est la partie 1, ça sera sur le Peinture. Merci à tous, je vais couper.